Live. Where's everybody at? There we go. Let's see here. Sorry if I'm a little late, everybody. Let's see. Streaming is good. Hello, boom, arrived. Everybody's here. Sorry for being late. Wait, where's my... Hold on. I think from doing this every Sunday, I'd be a little more organized. Portland, but I'm good. Can everybody hear me? The sound and the make the light a little. Blind Swordsman, Ostojić, welcome. Oh, hello from Germany. Wie geht's? Ausgezeichnet. Okay, forsaking opinion when hearing you fine. Hello from Sweden. Oh, hi. I don't know any Swedish words, but hello. Everything sounds good. Joseph Sakata, how's my day been? My day's been all right. I woke up. I made myself a nice breakfast. I did a little surfing. And I just got back. Ostojić amazing. More like Kenshi from Mortal Kombat. Watch the Ostojić movies if you haven't. The really good one came out about 10 years ago. Well, there's been a million of them, but there's a cool one that came out about 10 years ago with Beat Takashi. He's fantastic. Sorry, I'm crazy hungry. I hope this isn't making a weird noise. I bought some, in addition to my normal smoothie, I bought some vegan almond milk eggnog-y type thing. So I put some almond nog, or they call it a holiday nog or whatever, vegan nog. Tastes good, guys. Rhombus Ostojić, how my surf buddies, Boutin and Jill Stein, it was great. And while surfing today, we were just celebrating how great it was that all of us and the Burn Bros got together arm in arm and blocked Hillary Clinton from campaigning in Wisconsin and Michigan. It was a really fun surf session today. Who else is here? Why is nuclear bad? Oh, wow, we're going to get right into it. Well, here's why I think nuclear power is bad. There's too many downsides when it isn't managed correctly. As we saw in the March earthquake and tsunami in Japan, and it hit the Fukushima power plant. And Japan has a really pretty solid program, and look how dangerous it was. Look how dangerous it was. We don't need it. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface of how much power we can generate from green energy. So there's no reason for atomic energy. There's no reason for it. It's just crazy. If a wind turbine breaks and falls, unless you're directly below it, it's not going to hurt anybody. It's not going to contaminate the water and the soil for hundreds of years. So there's that. As Marsha Smith says, nuclear is not clean and it is not renewable. Rosenfeld 10, hello from Louisiana, home of the most perverted Republican politicians this side of Alabama. Thanks for joining us. Jack Frost, not one radiation death. Radiation is higher in Colorado. Huh. Yeah, there's not a compelling argument we haven't even maxed out wind and solar. So why don't we max out those first? There's no downside to them. The San Onofre power plant that's about 50, 60 miles south of here, it's offline. They're releasing trillium into the water. And what are they supposed to do with all the waste? Where does that go? How do you dispose of that? There's too many downsides. I don't understand anybody even arguing in favor of it. It makes no sense. If we put solar panels on every roof and wind turbines everywhere, we would there's enough. There's a guy that runs a wind farm who told me there's enough wind in the Dakotas to generate 60% of America's energy needs. Just those 2 states alone. Instead, we're fracking and building pipelines. I don't agree. I'll never agree. You can show me all the compelling arguments you want. Sorry, nuclear is a horrible idea. It's awful. What do you do with the waste? Where does the waste go? Yeah, it's a bad idea. How long do I think it would take if there's no transition to green energy. We can just start producing it. It's already there. We just start making more of it. Just do what China did. In 2015, China decided, well, in 2014, they said, we're going to be the leaders in wind and solar manufacturing. Boom, it happened. In 2015, they spent $111 billion. We spent about $42 billion that year. They just did it overnight. We could do that. Transition, that's just more of the atomic energy people, which are in league with the fossil fuel companies. So I'm just sorry, I can't hear it. Sorry. Blind Swordsman, Blind Fury is hilarious and amazing. Check out RLM's review on it. Michael Stiegel Jr., just be glad they haven't figured out how to use anti-mute matter. Haha. Rhombus isotope, useful if you manage fusion power. Okay. But there's all these ifs. There's all these ifs surrounding it. Well, if we do this, then it won't be a problem. Well, I live in an earthquake zone, and there's atomic energy plants here, and it scares the shit out of me. Because look what happened in Japan. So why are we messing? I don't know why are we messing with that. If an earthquake, there's all these wind fields in California. If an earthquake hits, there's no downside. They just burn, build new ones. Yeah, sorry. I don't even understand why we're spending any money on research or anything like that, because the people that are behind nuclear energy are all fossil fuel people. So there, follow that money. Solar pays for itself. It used to be 20 years. Now it's like under 10 because the panels are becoming more efficient. We're not going to need energy in 10 years from now, so that because they don't pay for themselves immediately, we should scrap the idea. How about start building an infrastructure today so that 20 years from now we have clean energy everywhere? Versus, where do we store the atomic waste? No one has an answer for that. Marsha Smith, it's like Obama's all of the above crap. Yeah, in 08, when Obama was on the campaign trail talking about green energy, and then he needed votes in Pennsylvania, and he was like, oh, and clean coal. Clean coal? Yeah, that's like saying ethical child pornographer. It doesn't exist. Griza, hey Dave. I don't know who Dave is, but just a short question about the Intercept. Are they trustful at all? A trustful source. Yeah, I'm beginning to see a switch in the Intercept. It's a little disheartening. Glenn Greenwald and like Dave Dane and Zaid Jalani seem to be doing their same type of journalism, which is good. But then I'm seeing these weird articles on the Intercept that I'm like, that looks like corporate media shit. It's just, there's some articles that just sort of smell a little weird over there. I'm beginning to not trust it. Man, that's a good smoothie. Rosenfeld 10, energy companies shut down all efforts towards infrastructure to provide clean energy. Absolutely. Why I say just put it on your own roof. Do it yourself. I mean, I was at the LA Auto Show like a week ago, and at the Tesla, excuse me. Sorry, I hope that wasn't too loud. At the The Tesla display was not just their cars, but also a mock house with solar panels on it, showing how you can create your own energy. And their panels are about like this big. They're like a small iPad. So, Phil Britton, Trump gifted the Saudis with $200 billion for infrastructure in USA, not a dime to American contractors. Have you seen any Saudis fixing bridges? Yeah, it's weird. I haven't seen any Saudis building high-speed rail or fixing bridges, or... It's weird, I haven't seen that. We could have high-speed rail from coast to coast. I haven't seen that. It's weird. Just more making America great again by giving the Saudis money. Rhombus isotope, geothermal wind and wave power for SoCal. Yeah, there you go, friend. The K-Line report, stream buffering. Agitpay must be taking over Graham's video. Yeah, good boy. Snork Y2K, I'm a $25 donor. Which topic would you like me to cover with Graham? Should I talk solar, OTEC, sewage to fuel, radiation, or my new project to make electricity with water as a byproduct? Ooh! I like the water with electricity as a byproduct, but see what everybody else weighs in at. Jack Frost, sorry, on the East Coast, stable plate tectonics was TRNA make argument. Wind and solar is heavy metal, and I thought the oil company shut down the plant. Fair enough. Marsha Smith, Graham, my dad worked at the Santa Susana Rocketdyne plant, and they had nuclear spills when I was a kid. I like to tell people I glow in the dark from all the radiation I experienced. Yeah. Vikash Balya. Thorium reactors can melt down, can't be weaponized, and are 99.5% efficient. They can also use nuclear waste as fuel. That 0.5%? I don't buy it. Sorry. Maybe I don't know enough about it. Clearly I don't. I don't buy it. Why do it when we haven't even pursued? If we go all the way through, I just don't, the people who are putting the money behind nuclear, I don't trust them. So I don't trust them. That's that. Rhombus isotope. Coal power doesn't pay for itself. Joseph Sakata, so you think we can just stop using nuclear energy and go to solely using green energy? What do we with the nuclear waste structure that we have now? Exactly. That, and you want to build more. So you're asking a question, what do we do with the nuclear waste now? And you want to build more? I know we could transition. We could be off of fossil fuels in about 2 years, which is not a long period of time. It wouldn't take long at all. Maybe 5. Wouldn't take long at all. Why are we creating this waste? You just asked the question, what do we do with the waste? Yeah. Robert Allen, the plan is to turn South Australia into the world's nuclear dump. Ain't gonna fucking happen. See? There we go. We'll just dump the waste somewhere else. Rhombus isotope. South Australia nuke plan has already been stopped. All right, but where are they going to put it? They're going to put it somewhere. It's like Trudeau in Canada here. Mr. Environmental Change put his money towards Trans-Canada oil pipelines, the ones that caused the spill. Yeah, Trans-Canada is the pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline. I did the video on 5,000 barrels of oil spilling. Yeah. You want those people, and you want to make more nuclear waste and more pipelines? That's what you want to do? Seems like a horrible idea. Independent outsider. Gotta go. Nice to see you. Snork Y2K. We need to view the nuclear waste issue separate from power and weapons. We really don't need nuke for power. We haven't got a good disposal plan. Exactly. Newer weapons more usable and powerful than nuke. Bless you. Thank you. Where are we at here? Matacular. Trudeau is also pushing Trans Mountain Pipeline to the west coast through Vancouver. He's no environmentalist. Yeah, he's the worst. Plantastic Life. Germany plans on closing its last nuclear power plant in 2022. 4 years from now. Very doable. Because Germany realizes it isn't safe. Germany is completely transitioning to green energy, if I'm not mistaken. Plantastic Life, thank you for supporting the show. I just don't understand why getting behind nuclear. I just don't understand it. We don't have there's such a huge downside. Plantastic Life, Dominic. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And thank you to those who have sent money into the P.O. box. That's a really cool way to do it. Some of you are like, I don't want to be tracked. I don't want to give money through YouTube or Patreon or whatever. Totally cool. However you want to support the show. And you send it to the P.O. box, which is on my website, grahamelwood.com. It's really cool. And those of you who have done it, thank you so much. I know those of you who've done it pretty much want to stay anonymous. So we'll keep it that way. Fantastic Life, thanks for supporting the show and putting that great statement on there. Snork Y2K, I'm willing to hold seminars on building your own solar panels. Bradley B, Jeb 2020 Democratic. I don't understand that one. Where's the other one? Phil Britton, the mining of uranium has poisoned most of the Navajo Nation, polluted the Colorado River. Thanks, Phil. Phil Britton, Trudeau is a Putin wannabe. Ravas Isotope. Oh, yeah. Thoughts on Patreon shitting the bed with its new fee scheme? Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on that. So as I understand it, they're passing the fees on to you folks, to the Patreons versus the content creators. The content in the past, Patreon would take roughly 10% off the top of all the money you brought in. So they would take it out of my money, and now they're charge you folks. So I don't know. I don't know that I mean, sure, in the immediate, oh, I'm getting more money, but then making it cost more to you, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't want anything that discourages people from supporting my show, like extra knick-knacky fees. I don't think that's a good plan. So I can't say I like that at all. And I saw a little dip, and I don't know if it was the fees or it's the holidays. A bunch of people in the exit surveys were all like, my financial situation has changed, which I totally understand. I know it's the holidays, it's the end of the year. But I hope if it has anything to do with those fees, man, that really bums me out. Hugh Edwards, thank you for supporting the show, Hugh. I really appreciate it. Fine folks like you, Hugh Edwards, are making Gotham great. Look what you've done. You've helped shine the blue light on the dark night across the planet into the ceiling of truth. Now I sound like a wingnut. Joseph Sakat, is there anyone in Congress who is really pushing for green energy? Not really. Not when you have a Republican-controlled House and Senate, and then you've got a bunch of corporate Democrats in there. Not a lot of people pushing for green energy. It's part of the problem. It's why I'm just not going to give the Democrats any of my money, vote, anything, because I want to see real progressives in there that are pushing a Green New Deal. I really want to see it. Marsha Smith, there's been a lot of pushback on that change. And last I heard, Patreon is rethinking this. I hope so. I know the folks at Patreon. They came to the Los Angeles podcast, not all of them, but some of the people at Patreon. Their whole model is about what's best for everybody. So if they realize this is a misstep, they seem like a smart enough company to go, whoops, sorry guys, we won't do that. You know, because obviously the more people that are supporting content creators, the better it is for them. And if putting fees on the consumer side scares people away, and then it hurts their business, it hurts their bottom line, it hurts my thing, it hurts you guys, it's not good for anybody. So I hope, Marsha, that you're right, and I hope they do rethink it and change it. Michael Stiegel Jr., all of the schools in my area are putting up solar panels. You godless hippie, Mike. No, that's what I'm talking about. And that's what we talk a lot about on the show, how all of us individually can take action. You know, you petition your school district, you petition your school board, you petition your business, you petition your homeowners association, you petition your neighborhood, whatever. You tell a business, like if you put solar panels up, I'm more likely to show up here. I just bought an electric car, so businesses that have charging stations, I'm more likely to go to those stores than the other ones. You know, I'll go to this mall that has charging stations. I won't go to that mall. It makes a huge difference. So that's a thing you can petition. Like, that's how we have to do it. That's a form of resistance, is just not letting them dictate how we live our lives. You know, and school's getting it, and it's a green school, and there you go. You're teaching kids to the next generation to think about green energy. You know, I have a niece who's 18 years old. She's a freshman in college, and she made her major public policy because after this election, she was like, holy shit, I got to get more involved. And I'm listening to what she's talking about, what she's studying, and she's really like active, you know, because you have to be. Where are we at? Vikash Bala, love that you responded to me. I'm a new subscriber. Please take an hour and look up LFTR thorium reactors. Tons of info available on YouTube. Okay, man, I'll do that. That's fair. I'll get more informed on nuclear energy. I will. I doubt my opinion is going to change, guys. I'm for green energy. If I come back and you give me more information, I go, wow, I guess nuclear isn't as bad as I thought it was. My answer is still going to be, we still shouldn't use it, and I'm going to want to put green energy. Thanks for watching the show. Even if we don't agree, I appreciate you guys bringing up different points of view. You're doing it in a polite manner. I'm sorry if I'm not trying to be a dick. Rhombus Isotope, the Kentucky Coal Museum now runs on solar. Yeah, I remember I did a story on that like 5-6 months ago. Rosenfeld 10, Graham, what are your thoughts on the memo revealed by TYT sent by the DCC to Democratic campaigns? If I understand that correctly, let me see if I can find that first of all. Memos, TYT. Because I read, yeah, leaked memo. Yeah, here it is. I'll read the leaked memo to you guys, just so we're all on the same page, because I want to make sure I understand this correctly so we can all talk about it. Yeah, Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee is making several demands of candidates preparing for the 2018 House elections, according to the internal memo obtained by TYT. The memo dictates policies on campaign spending and sexual harassment and outlines requirements for Democratic Party unity, in quotes. An email accompanying the memo gives campaigns until Friday, December 8th to respond. The memo was sent by the DCCC Executive Chair Dan Sain on December 1 to candidates and campaign managers. Oh, God. Here's what they're... Oh, God. It doesn't mention the contentious Democratic, the 16 primary. It includes a requirement that the campaigns must agree not to engage in tactics that do harm to our chances of winning a general election. Oh. They don't identify what the tactics are. Candidates also must hold a unity event with their primary opponents following a primary, the memo says. They didn't say what a unity event would be. With the wave of left-wing primary challengers seeking office, the memo dictates are being seen by some campaign staff as discouraging inter-party debate. One strategist working on a Democratic congressional campaign who was not authorized to speak publicly said that barring primary candidates from using tactics that might disadvantage the winner in the general election gives the edge to corporatist candidates who have super PAC backing. Those super PACs could carry out such attacks with smaller grassroots campaigns. Without super PACs, would be unable to respond. This is systematically designed to disadvantage progressives. Of course. Of course. Yeah, nobody wants anything from the DCCC but money, and I'm talking even about candidates who are favored by the DCCC. Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So now we all know it's more bullshit and they word it, if you listen to that and read it again, you see how they worded it to make it seem like unity and we all got to get on the same page and all hands on deck. It's all that neoliberal corporate Democrat bullshit. It's another reason they purged the progressives last month. Now they're saying you can't argue in anything that favors the super PACs. The DNC is acting just like the fossil fuel companies. They know their time is done. They know people are sick of them, and they're refusing to change. So they're just going to double down on their dumb tactics that haven't worked. And they think this is going to work. And they're just like, when their party gets crushed or people stop using it or there's a new third party, they're going to sit there and wonder why. And it'll be crap like this, man. Oh, Rosenfeld 10, thanks for bringing that up. Whoa, wait. Something. All right, I want to make sure I get all of the correct things. Hugh Edwards. All right, let me make sure. K-Line report, we still need Jill Stein. Amen to that. God, K-Line report. Imagine the economy if the Green New Deal happened and shut down factories could be repurposed to manufactured solar panels and hemp products. Amen. Phil Britton, right side broadcasting is being completely shut down, suppressed and throttled like many YouTube sites. Right, call the fascist. Ajit Pai at fcc.gov. I called and left a message for Ajit, our good friend Ajit Pai. So here's a good point here. Unity event is dumb. Yes, Zucchina unity event. It's all that bullshit. You know, it's like these crazy Hillary supporters are still like mad at Bernie Sanders, and it's like he backed her. It's just we all hands on deck, and the progressives are causing problems, and that's why we've got like it's Jill Stein's fault and Bernie's fault that we have Trump. Ugh. Mal CH. I imagine the tax bill is going to fuck us, and the hope is it will make more people be forced to enlist in the military for financial support. Mal, that is an excellent point. So in 2007, the Iraq War had been going on for about 4 years. The Afghanistan War had been going on for 6. Enlistment was at an all-time low. And one of the things politicians learned in the 60s and 70s with Vietnam, when they put the draft in place, that's when everybody in their 20s started to pay attention. So typically, people like under the age of 30, but especially like 18 to 25, that age group votes the least and has voted the least. The last time they showed up to vote was in the 70s when they were like, I don't want to go to Vietnam. So the deep state, corporate state, whatever you want to call it, the good old US of A, realized this back in the 70s, and that's why there's been never a draft. So when enlistments were at the all-time low, they moved the age from 35 to 42. They started taking people with criminal records and tattoos and all this stuff that they never were like, no, no, no. Then the recession hit in 2008, and whoa, re-enlistment went way up because it's like, we'll give you a $10,000 or $20,000 bonus if you re-sign up for another 2 or 3 year bit with the military. Or, hey, there's no jobs in my town. I might as well, the Marines are hiring. That's what they did. Enlistment numbers went way up. So, Mal CH, you're absolutely correct. And they're probably just ramping up for that again. And hopefully, their hope is like, oh, yeah, we'll be at war in North Korea. We'll have boots on the ground. And We'll get everybody to join up and join the big corporate war machine. Oh, God, it's insane. Rosenfeld 10, super PACs can attack all year long, but independent campaigns can't. Good point. Good point. CM Fuel, ever feel like the mainstream news has just turned into 2 minutes hate? Yes, I do. Or just lies, 2 minutes of lies. Quick lie update. BuzzFeed lie. Clicker. Sonics Fan 81, hey Graham, hope all is well. Look forward to the new comedy show you'll be hosting. Yes, December 17th, guys. If you go to grahamelwood.com, it'll be out in San Bernardino. I actually forgot to do this, but I'm going to add a $20 tier to the Patreon. And if you do that, you'll get 2 tickets to any live show I'm doing. That's my show. Like if I'm a guest on the Jimmy Dore show, I can't guarantee you tickets to that because that's not my show. But if it's a show that I'm hosting or headlining, I'll give you tickets to that show. You know? Definitely the TV taping. I'll get you 2 tickets to that. Easy. So thank you for doing that. Go to grahamelwood.com. Rhombus Isotope, I want to go to Vietnam as a tourist. Well, now you can. Phil Britton, join the army. Die for oil suckers. Jello Bafraya. Yeah. Triana be fine. When they killed the draft, everyone went back to sleep and off to business school. Yep. They know if they do a draft, everyone in their 20s will wake up and go, huh? Anyone that's draft age eligible will like, what? Everyone will start paying attention. They don't want you to pay attention. They want you doing Pokemon Go and getting all mad about sports and celebrities and everything else. They don't want you doing stuff like this. They don't want you doing stuff like this. Amonetti. Yes, and since the 70s, education has been dumbed down and people are taught not to think critically, not to question authority or the establishment. Absolutely. When everyone started questioning authority in the 60s, right? All of a sudden, everyone just started going, wait a minute, I can't trust the government. I can't trust the media. I can't trust all these institutions. They're like, we can't have that anymore. CM Fuel. So technically that extra $80 billion is going to a jobs program the military is always hiring. Yeah. Wolf Blitzer said that on CNN like a year ago. Well, if we get rid of all these wars, I mean, that's a lot of jobs. Oh, so we need war to keep the economy moving? There's nothing else we could use to replace it. Oh, boy. Snork Y2K, baby boomers that didn't get drafted benefited from fast smoking death rate and inheritance before treatments about the sucked up inheritance money, so baby boomers got rich. Yep. Rosenfeld 10, I remember when Jello Bafraya offered to sell his drug-free pee to anyone who was scared of Tipper Gore. Yeah. Phil Britton, the draft level's the playing field. I ain't no senator, son. I've said this before. If we go to war, then every congressman, every senator, everyone in the White House cabinet, all their kids have to join the military and serve in a combat position. Everybody in Boeing and all the military manufacturing companies, all their kids need to serve in a combat position. I bet you we'd see some different about the war then. Kevin Eckhart, CCR rocks. I ain't no saying other, son. I don't know what that means. K-Line Report. Amen. I got trolled on my channel for not covering new Pokemon games when I was discussing Flint Water Crisis. Hashtag keep millennials dumb. Yeah. They want to keep everybody dumb and not paying attention. They just want you going to the bar and taking photos of your cocktails and not paying attention. They want you not paying attention. And then people like, oh, but if I pay attention, then it's too depressing. Well, that's the thing I've talked about before on this show. You got to find a balance. I went surfing today. I didn't sit and watch the news and get depressed. I went surfing. I was outside. It was beautiful. It was nice. And then I come and do this, and I really like doing this. So I'm staying informed and taking care of myself. But just find a balance. Rosenfeld 10. Trump's kids can serve in military when this Jerusalem capital BS really takes off. Oh boy. So insane. So insane, the Jerusalem thing. Of course, there was already rioting now. Plantastic Life. We could have another civilian conversation corp to employ young people rather than paying them to be cannon fodder. Yeah. There's so many things we could do. I mean, you know, look at the like AmeriCorps, right? So that's a cool thing. It was basically the idea was let's take the Peace Corps and put it here locally, put it nationally in the States. I believe everyone should have 2 years of service in this country. It's a draft, right? When you turn 18, you got to serve this country for 2 years. And if you don't want to be in the military, fine. 2 years of AmeriCorps, 2 years of working for Habitat for Humanity, 2 years of being a full-time Red Cross volunteer or something like that. To teach everybody how to care and be part of things and to learn how things work and help people that are less fortunate. That would be great, right? It would wake everybody up. You'd have a bunch of 20-year-olds that were really informed and cared and weren't selfish. In America, we're bred and designed to be selfish and just selfish consumers at any age. We're just buy, and take care of yourself and me. That's what we're bred to do. I'd love to see that. Don't forget, guys, you can support the show by putting in the... if you hit the $, anybody that's new, that's right next to the emoji. That's a great way to support the show, and then your question gets put up and automatically gets answered. Hugh Edwards! Wow. My boy did 4 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan and needed a job. Yeah, I know. 4 tours. 4 tours, Hugh Edwards. It's just, first of all, thanks. Tell your son I said thanks. And I know it's a sacrifice not just for him, but for the whole family. I know that's the toughest thing is on the families when the child is deployed for a year at a time, or 14 months when Bush extended it. Before the recession, he had to extend tours from 12 to 14 months. And I remember being over there. I was in Afghanistan in 2007. It was my 3rd time going over there. And I had a Department of Defense guy wanting us to go on these really anyway, that's a whole other story. Ugh. But I remember they had just extended people from 12 to 14 months, and this guy's like, look, man, I signed up for this. I know I was going to be gone for 12 months, but now 14? Now I got to miss 2 birthdays for my kids? You know? 2 Christmases or whatever? Like, it's like, man, it's messed up. So, it was really hard. And then the draft came. The recession, which was a poverty draft, basically. So Hugh Edwards, thank you so much for supporting the show, and tell your son thanks, and thank you for the sacrifice that he made and your family made, man. When I went over there, every time I went over there to tell jokes for 2 weeks, my family was freaking out. And I can't imagine what it would be like if I was deployed for a year and was in a combat position. Anytime you see something on news, everyone's flipping out. Oh, man. Because he needed a job. Hugh Edwards, your son needed a job and had to go to war to get one. How messed up is our country? You know, how messed up is our country? It was 55% of the budget around there under Obama. Now it's like 60% of the budget for war. To send poor kids and poor in the middle class to go fight oil wars and fight against other poor people who are really poor. Thanks for supporting the show, Hugh. Sarah J., thank you for supporting the show. This donation is for that Eddie Pepitone Green Room interview. Had to watch it 3 times because I was laughing too hard to hear the rest. Sarah, thank you so much for supporting the show. Yeah, I just started doing the Green Room interviews, and your guys' response has been so great that whenever I'm doing one, I'm gonna get some interviews when I get a hold of some progressives. And it's really cool. It's a way to break up the show, because I know most of the time it's just me and this thing, just me talking. So it's great getting other people's points of views, and I'm hearing really cool things from, you know, having Miserable Liberal on and Ron Placone and Dave Reinitz. And I'm going to try to get more people, whoever I can snatch up. When I just did the last show, And Cenk Unger was on the show. He was busy. He's like came in and had to go, so I wasn't gonna like, hey Cenk, talking on my phone. You know, I didn't want to be annoying. I'd love to do that with Stephen O, but I'll get more of those green room interviews, Sarah J. Absolutely. And Eddie Pepitone, he's so funny. He cracks me up. I've known Eddie for, I don't know, 15 years now. Every time I see him, I laugh. He just does nothing but crack me up. So he's a hilarious guy. Sarah J., you're awesome for supporting this show. And I really appreciate that. You guys are fantastic. Sarah J. Hugh Edwards. Rosenfeld 10. Cities could earn additional revenue by providing a public internet service, which is the answer to Ajit Pai. Man, that's a great idea. That is a great idea. And I think that's what's going to happen. Because, you know, as different cities and states are like sort of, like we resist this. I saw the mayor of Los Angeles talk yesterday. He did an interview talking mainly about the fires, you know, in Southern California. One of the things he said is that this new tax plan is going to cut a lot of federal money to the states, and he goes, it's going to really affect us to fight, because some of the when the big fires and you have to mobilize all these different cities' fire agencies and you have to have a command center and an infrastructure in place, some of that infrastructure money comes from the federal government, which they're going to be getting less now because of this GOP tax cut. So I'm feeling like that's kind of what's going to happen. City by city and county by county and state by state, people are just going to have to figure out their own crap. And I think some progressive cities might just go, oh, we'll start our own internet then. You know, in a resistance to this trying to get rid of net neutrality. They'll just have net neutrality in their areas. I think that's what's going to happen. Unfortunately, America might just become fractionalized on a lot of different levels. K-Line report, in Canada, at my old high school, we were mandated 40 hours of volunteer work in order to graduate. See? Stuff like that. And yeah, there'll be some kids that were like, oh, I just did this, get my thing signed. And they won't learn anything and they won't change as people, but it'll be a small percentage. I think you can't help but do that. I've learned so much as a volunteer for the American Red Cross. I've met so many people from so many different walks of life. You know, I'm like a big brother mentor to a kid, you know, and they live in South Central, and I've gone and seen, and where they live is very different. It's only 13 miles from my house. And they live a completely different life, and they live in neighborhoods where they're Spanish speaking, you know, they're Mexican, and everyone in the neighborhood is primarily speaking Spanish. It's a completely different environment. It is a completely different environment. And it opens my eyes to stuff. It's right here in America. I don't have to fly somewhere. I don't have to go across a border. It's right here in my town. And when you volunteer even just a little bit, it helps. You see, even a couple hours a month, it changes your world. It gives you a perspective. It makes you grateful for what you have. And it makes you feel like, wow, I'm helping fellow people. And you meet people of completely different walks of life who on paper you'd be like, oh, we have nothing in common. And you start talking to them, of course they have the same things in common. Because everybody wants similar stuff. I want to be safe. I want to be able to feed my kids. I want to have a roof over my head. I want to be able to thrive as a person and go out and see the world and learn. And everyone wants those same things. Thanks for sharing that. Prod Plus, I am gay and I feel depressed because the community hates that. I live in Morocco and I'm 21 years old. Man, Prod Plus, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know what it's like to live in Morocco and I don't know what it's like to be gay. I can just tell you this, from all the gay people I've spoken to that I'm really good friends with, in my movie Earbuds, the podcasting documentary, I interview a very good friend of mine, Todd Glass, and I'll just repeat what he says in the film because he came out of the closet. And he came out on a podcast about 3-4 years ago, and it was a big thing. And the reason he wanted to come out publicly, and he did it on Mark Maron's podcast, which gets, you know, hundreds of thousands of downloads. And this is what he said. He goes, if you're young and you're gay and you're freaking out and your family's freaking out and nobody, and he goes, you're fine. You're fucking fine. So Prod Plus, I'm going to tell you this right now. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Just because your city, your town, your culture, your family is freaking out and doesn't like gay people, there's nothing wrong with you, man. There's nothing wrong with being gay. Not at all. All right, I'm sorry you're feeling depressed. Good for you for reaching out. I would try to reach out to some more people like in the gay community online who can maybe talk to you even better, because I'm a straight guy. I don't know what it's like to be in that environment. I don't know what it's like. So I can tell you though, as a straight, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay? There's nothing wrong with you for being gay. So find some like-minded people that can be there and support you. And the people that don't, try to limit your time with them. Okay? Thanks for joining the show, man. Thanks for joining the show. What else? Phil Britton, Jefferson Airplane song Volunteers of America was a mantra worth listening to. Yeah. And I got to tell you too, from like just this, I was at a shelter last week during the fires. The fires are still going on. Some of them have been contained. Some new ones have popped up, which is, but I'm at this shelter and there's all these people volunteering, all these people helping out, you know, and just all these different departments and agencies and people just volunteering, and then just regular people just coming in off the streets like, here's a case of bottled water. We wanted to help. And you just see the best in people, you know? So that's what I get from volunteering. And I'd say that to you, Prod Plus. Be of service to people. I can get down on myself and, oh man, I went through this breakup and show business and all this stuff. When I start being of service, I feel better about myself. I feel better about the world around me. I feel like, well, I can't change the whole world myself, but I can just be better. I can change my little corner of it, you know? And then that feeds itself. So there you go. Balthazar 228, Graham, when are you going to get your own Spreadshirt mug? I need my truth cabinet to be filled with the JDS Political Vigilante. I know. I got to do Spreadshirt. I know. I'm busy with this show, but I just hired a producer, you guys. This woman, Sammy Unio, who is, she worked for us at LA Podfest. She's really awesome. So I'm starting to just record and then just send her, and she's doing all the posting so I can get more stuff done. But I'll get a Spreadshirt mug going. I'm sorry. God's Favorite Atheist gave me a cool logo, so I'll use that one or something. But you guys are awesome. Thanks for reminding me of that. I'm sorry. I know. Brandon Williams, do you think that the Democrats really care about beating Republicans in elections? No. This is something that Cenk Unger said, and I believe it. Jimmy Dore believes it, which is Democrats would rather lose to Republicans than let progressives take over their party, because if progressives take over their party, they lose all their corporate money. They rather lose to them. Look at them. Trump was the most beatable candidate on the face of the earth, and they lost. And every time they put up some, like that guy in Atlanta or whatever, in Georgia, they put up this corporate Democrat guy who ran a nothing platform. He lost. Yeah. Hugh Edwards, his mom would never watch the news. Yeah, I know. It stopped. Yeah. Oh yeah, Stopgap was fun for everybody. Where are we at here? K-Line, spending positive vibes, Prod Plus. Way to go. It's nice to see you guys join in and be the community. Carib Moth. I am mixed on required service. On one hand, I think all should serve a year or two like Switzerland. On the other, some kids are not suited for service. I guess they get office work and such. Yeah, I think that's a valid point, and I think what you do is you have, you know, someone that suffers social anxiety or whatever, like you have something for them. Being of service, look, I've worked at a bunch of different non-for-profits. They need office. You know, the Red Cross has this huge, it's called the EOC, Emergency Operations Center. When there's a big disaster like this, it's a big hub, but it's an office. People need to do budgets and spreadsheets, and there needs to be paper and pens and printer ink, and it's an office like any other office. So someone is like, I just want to do this, or they need data entry. There's some just regular jobs that any office would need. That's what I agree. That's what you should do. Require everybody to do service and serve in some way. Because look, you know, there's people in the office at the fire department. The firefighters are right now fighting all these fires in Southern California. And yes, they're putting their lives on their line, and that is, you know, that's what firefighters do. But it's just important, the mechanic. If the fire trucks aren't maintained properly, they can't get there. It's just as important the person that does billing, the person that does the accounting work for the fire department and gets the budget from the county or the city or the state and spends that money and does the paperwork. That's an important job. That person, that job is just as important, because without that crap, these guys aren't getting paid. They're not getting, you know what I mean? These men and women are out there putting their lives on the line, and then their paperwork's all screwed up. They're going to quit. It's all important. Snork Y2K, they also made a rule that allowed them to consider sending someone from Iraq to Afghanistan as being a break from deployment. Yeah, I know. When I was going to Iraq, so I went to Afghanistan 04, 06, 07, and then I went to Iraq 07, 08, and 2011. And 7 and 8, 11 we were starting to draw down, but especially in 2008, I don't know how many people in the military I met who were like, guys would tell me, I'm just here for the money. I don't care. I'm doing my job. They gave me 20 grand to sign on for, so I did that. You know, and then that's my wife and I are buying a house. That's a down payment for our house, or that's going for our kids' college, or something like that. I mean, like, I heard that countless times. Yeah, Phil Britton, Dems voted to add $80 billion to the Pentagon budget. Who do you trust? Yeah, exactly. Who do you trust? Agent Dale Chomsky, Meany seems to be doing all it can to give Trump's fake news bluster legitimacy. Well, yeah. And this is a video I just recorded that's going to drop tomorrow. That Glenn Greenwald article covered this. So CNN had this bombshell report, right? That WikiLeaks contacted Donald Trump and said, we'll give you exclusive access to the DNC emails. And it was this bombshell. See, Julian Assange and WikiLeaks were in cahoots with Trump and Russia, and they were out to get Hillary Clinton. They did it on September 4th. And Glenn Greenwald was like, no. Then it was clearly obvious the email was sent on September 4th of 2016, right? The email was sent on September 14th, after WikiLeaks had dumped all the email. And CNN sent this out. Ted Lieu, Democratic congressman from my district here in California, was like, see, we knew it. WikiLeaks was in cahoots with Russia to take down Hillary. They were in cahoots with Trump. All these politicians jumped on board. CNN, all the major media outlets jumped on it. CBS, all of them. All of them. Just about. And then when it became clear that they had the email wrong, the email said September 14th. It was, again, after WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks dumped everything and then said, hey, and the source was like some guy that was not even that connected to WikiLeaks, was just like, yeah, do you want to here's access to him now that everyone has access to him. Did they do a retraction? They did some quick little mealy mouth one. And they got everyone believing that Julian Assange hates the Clintons and is working with Trump. It's such bullshit. Triana Befine. Whatever happened to the Peace Corps and Vista volunteers? I believe the Peace Corps is still in effect. I'm not sure about what Vista volunteers is. I know the AmeriCorps is still in effect because it's high school and college age kids. Like, it's 18 and up, but they work a lot with the Red Cross. So they recruit these young kids and get them involved in the Red Cross. I just worked with some. Kevin Eckhart, I do community service when the court orders it. Come on, Kevin. Don't be a wise ass. Get in there and do something. Stephen Colbert, 5. Jimmy Dore covered the whole Intercept versus Atlantic thing. And a long story short, the Intercept is awesome and the Atlantic sucks. Yeah. I just recently, I've seen some stuff in the Intercept that I'm starting to question. I've loved the Intercept. All right, where are we at? Michael Stiegel Jr., what color crayon are they going to use to combine the two tax reform bills this time? Oh, hilarious. Cotty, the only way we can win is by becoming self-sufficient as an individual, family, community, etc. As long as we plunder the poor and weak, we will continue down neoliberalism and ecocide. Good point. Cody, or Cody. I think I would add to that. We need to become self-sufficient as an individual, family, and community. It's great. Yeah. And bring people that sense of community, and we will solve this. Our family or our community or our town will solve this together, and start lifting people up, and the hell with the federal government, the hell with what DC's doing if they're just going to do that crap. And I think you're starting to see that, and I think it's engaging people. And in some ways, it's almost like we needed Trump to show up to get people to wake up, because the apathy is what got us here. It's a big reason for it. Not to excuse the awful behavior of the 4 decades-long corporate coup, but by design, it's apathy, and a lot of people played along and didn't pay attention as much. I'm guilty of not paying attention as much during Obama. That ain't happening anymore. Where are we at? Jenny Lynn! Hey, Graham. Hey, sexy revolutionaries. What's up? Stephen Colbert, 5. The Atlantic omitted part of Assange's statement to make the Intercept and Assange sound worse. Yeah, that's what the Atlantic does. They just do those little omissions, and then everyone just retweets it and posts it on all their social media. And, oh, see? Julian Assange, Trump pal. Unbelievable. Mal CH, as a gay lady, nothing is wrong with you. Get away from people who make you feel like there's something wrong with you. Thanks for saying that, Mal CH. And I hope Prad in Morocco, I hope this is helping in some small way. Phil Britton, Alan Watts points out that one chooses one's states. And it's okay to feel depressed, but you can choose to not feel depressed. Yeah, unless you have clinical depression, then you need to get professional help. Happy Super Chat Sunday, peace. Forsaken Companion, hi Jenny. All right, Balthazar 228, Graham, what do you think about media outlets, including TYT, trying to use Al Franken's logic to attempt to get Trump to resign? By my logic, that gets us Pence, who's worse, and will cause 2018 loss. That's an interesting question. I'll say this, first of all. I think, for me at least, saying Trump should resign, if Al Franken resigns, Trump should resign, what you're doing is showing the hypocrisy of the Republican Party. Is Trump going to resign? No, he's not. Is the Republican Party going to make him resign? No, they're not. And while I would love to see Trump get impeached just because it would be such a blow to his narcissistic ego, it would be awesome. I agree with you too. I am concerned about, I've said this before, getting Pence in there in the long run, I think is a bad idea, because Trump is an idiot and says and tweets stupid things. And as Jimmy Dore says, he shoots himself in the dick 3 times before breakfast. But Pence scares me because Pence won't be offensive. Pence will be nice and clean cut. He won't tweet awful things. He'll just do all the awful policy, and he'll electrocute the gay out of people and all of his crazy evangelical thing. He won't have lunch with women or whatever his wingbird crap is he's all big business, he's all big oil. And my fear is that get Trump out of there, Pence would be in there, and then a lot of people on the left would fall asleep and go, oh, we did it, we got Trump out, whew, yay. We'll just hang out and we'll all vote for Elizabeth Warren or Kamala Harris to be president in 2020, two corporatists. So it's a good point. I think pointing out what Franken stepping down, I think it is a fair comparison. Because that on its own, let's just stick for a second just to the sexual harassment issue and sexual misconduct. People need to be held accountable. That's the best thing that's coming out of all this is people are losing their jobs, and show business especially. Awful people get rewarded in show business, like time and time and time again. And I'm glad people are getting fired and losing their shows and getting replaced. I'm glad they are. I'm glad Al Franken is losing his job. He's stepping down. And I think that's a fair thing on its own to just say, hey, you got to hold yourselves accountable too, Republicans. They can't go around accusing anybody of crap. You know? I mean, they will because they're nuts. I mean, Trump brought out all of Bill Clinton's women that accused him at the debates. So, which is also funny. Like, I don't know why feminists hold Hillary Clinton in such high regard because she was the lawyer. Yeah. So, anyway, it's a good point, Balthazar. Another 5-10 minutes, guys. Rhombus isotope. Dude, cut down all the eucalyptus. Never trust a tree that has fire as part of its reproductive cycle. Okay. Thank you, Rhombus. That's an excellent point. Rosenfield 10. Homosexuality is completely natural, which is not the way religion represents it. Society tends to ignore science, which has proven homosexuality occurs in nature and as apparently as violence and beauty. That's a great point. Yeah, I've seen they've done studies. There's homosexual primates. Why are they homosexuals? They watch too much Glee? Uh-oh. You know what I mean? So, our friend in Morocco, go to science, not culture. There's nothing wrong with it. So Rosenfeld 10, thanks for posting that. Jenny Lynn, thanks for telling me to look up at it. That was a team effort. Triana, be fine. I know a lot is going on, but what's up with the Syrian refugees lately? Boy, that's a good point. I got to be honest with you. I have not followed that as of late. Just so much talk with net neutrality and the tax bill and then the fires here in California. I don't know. Phil Britton, we are products of Earth. A dendritic system interconnected. Nexus is evolution. Well, thank you. Marijuana saves lives. Corporate establishment Democrat expected to be appointed by Minnesota governor to replace Al Franken. She supports drilling, gas and oil, and corporate health care. Oh, see what the Democrats do? And he's being replaced by a woman. So this evil sexist man who is a groper and a creep, a woman's taking his place. You see what they do? I'm not condoning anything Al Franken did. I'm not condoning anything he did, and he should step down. But they're replacing with a woman. It's just all fucking window dressing with the Democrats. He's being replaced by a woman. Yay, women victory. She's not a progressive. God. Thanks for posting that. Marijuana saves lives. Of course. Al Franken's against fossil fuels and corporate health care. Let's get him out of there. You know, look what they did. And let's say everything these women are saying is true. Let's say it's all true. If they really wanted to get him out there, they'd go, anyone got any dirt on this guy? Let's all get together and boom. not excusing Al Franken at all, but this is what they do. And then the Democrats think that they're making a big change, and it's just putting more... Everything's a smokescreen for the fucking corporations. Everything is a smokescreen for the corporations. Is there sexism and racism? Absolutely. Should men be held more accountable? Absolutely. Do women have to go through way more shit? Absolutely. But they'll just use that, and then more corporate, more corporate, more corporate. Plenty of... Oh, God. Drives me goddamn insane. Where is it? Brian Stevens, thank you for supporting the show, Brian Stevens. You're the best. Any thought on Bitcoin hitting $19,700? I think that's a good thing. I have to be so honest with you. Many of you have brought up Bitcoin in the past. I've tried to read up on it. I don't quite get it. I don't quite get it. So I don't know if Bitcoin hitting 19,700 is a good thing. Yeah, maybe. I appreciate you bringing it up, Brian Stevens, and supporting the show. And I know many of you probably are more well-versed in it than I am, but I just don't know enough about it. I just don't. I wish that I did. Maybe it's a good thing because we need to get off of the petrodollar and everything else and just get off of this evil corporate money and get away from Wall Street. If Bitcoin gets us away from the banking system, I'm all for it. I wish I had more to say, Brian, on it. I'm really sorry. But thanks for bringing it up and thanks for supporting the show. Bradley B. This Democratic is for gas, oil. I'm a black woman. Vote Democratic 2020. Yeah. Geeko123. Can you speak German? You sprechen Deutsch ein bisschen. That's about it. I know ausgezeichnet. I know auf Wiedersehen. Bitteschön. Ich liebe dich, I believe, which is I love you. My German's awful. I lived in Munich for a year when I was about 6. My dad had a research scholarship, a Fulbright. He has a PhD in German theater history, so I lived in Munich for a year when I was 6. That's why I know a little bit of German. Jeremy Walker. Okay. Michael R. Pence. I like Bernie, but do you think Bernie is ignorant about Israel's one... Did we lose the feed? Did we lose the feed? Okay, sorry. We lost the feed for a second. Oh, what happened? Sorry, we lost the feed. All right. So Michael R. Pence asked the question, I like Bernie, but do you think Bernie is ignorant about Israel's one-sided brutal treatment of Palestinians, or is it maybe some sort of cognitive dissonance from ethnic patriotism of being Jewish? Well, I remember on the camp, it's a good question, Michael R. Pence. That's a good question, but I do remember during the 2016 primary campaign, he was talking about Israel and Palestine, like better treatment of the Palestinians. And I remember Rosario Dawson was being interviewed after one of his speeches, and she says, how powerful is this? A Jewish man is talking about we need better treatment of the Palestinians. He goes, this is real change, and you got to see like what it could be. So I don't know if he said more stuff recently that contradicts that, but that's what I remember hearing over a year ago during the primary. So it was one of the reasons I got behind him. Amy Matura, hi Jeremy. Hugh Edwards, one day we'll go to Walmart for healthcare. Oh boy. Forsaken Companion, I think the Franken thing was totally blown up. Amy Matura, yeah, I agree, Forsaken. Yeah, I think, yeah, he probably did some of this stuff. Maybe he was a little weird, put his hands, and that, not that that's a good or excuse, but like they probably jumped on it as like, oh, we can get this guy out of here and get a pro-fracker in there. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Ron Taxer, hey Graham, thoughts on Jordan Cheriton? You know, I saw that happen and I saw Jordan's response, and then I really got, I forget, something else I started following, and I didn't see, like, I know Cenk released a statement and Jordan responded to that statement, and I have not read those, so I can't weigh in with like a full comment on that. I read Jordan's post that he said saying exactly what happened from his point of view, that it was consensual with this woman. So I don't know. I can't, again, I can't, like, I don't want to like weigh in with like with a half opinion if I don't have it. Jenny Lynn, this has set a terrible precedence. The Dems will push anyone who's accused of sexual misconduct to resign. Hillbots have already schemed to make false allegations against Bernie. Yeah, I did see that. That was terrifying. They're already talking like, oh, can we get 8 women to come against Bernie? And then some people waiting. We already know he's awful to women. He's not awful to women. That was just all the crazy Hillbots. Oh, God. Oh. Thank you for posting that, Jenny Lynn. Stephen Colbert, 5. I still donate to Truth Against the Machine as journalism is still excellent. Amy Matura, I'm wondering how they are going to smear Bernie with the investigation into his wife. Yeah, and his wife has been very vocal on Twitter saying, you guys don't know me or my husband, shut the fuck up. But that's what they do. That just shows you what the corporate Democrats do. They'd rather smear a progressive. Anytime a progressive gets any traction, they go after them. And they'll use whatever they use. They're just as awful as the goddamn Republicans. Look at the tactics they're using. Going after Bernie Sanders' wife? Unbelievable. Well, guys, I'm just about running out of time here. Yeah, it's been an hour and 10 minutes. Yeah, Triana be fine. They don't care about Hillary's husband. They seem to know. Yeah, he's a hero to the... All those women that accused Bill Clinton, they're all lying, but all the women accused Harvey Weinstein and Al Franken and everyone else, they're all telling the truth. Only Bill Clinton's accusers are lying. Interesting. Forsaken companion, the Hillbots are maniacs. Yeah. Robert Fernandez, what do you think of Nomiki Kantz of TYT's efforts to reform the DNC? Waste of time? I mean, I applaud anyone that wants to do it. I understand why you want to reform the DNC, because they already have this huge fundraising infrastructure in place. I mean, I hope she's successful, but there is a part of me that does feel it's a waste of time. I wouldn't put I'm done putting my effort into the DNC. If she wants to, go for it. And if she can get any changes happening, I mean, hats off. I hope she's successful. I just don't see it. All right, guys, going to be wrapping it up soon. Marsha Smith. Thank you, Marsha. I'm sending love way back to you, man. Thank you for supporting the show. You guys are fantastic. Rosenfield 10, Jenny, I was Facebook friends with the author of that horrible tweet about Bernie. We are no longer friends as I ticked her off unintentionally during the primary. Vikash Bala, don't forget to look up info on thorium reactors. Okay, sure. All right, man. Tell you what, why don't you become a Patreon backer and submit that, and I'll submit some serious articles for me to watch, and I'll give it a fair shake. Or sign up for the $25 Skype level and you and I can talk and you can send me the info ahead of time. I'll do that. I'm open to it. You might be able to turn me. Probably not. All right, guys. That's about it. Yeah, I got to get going. It's 4:26. It's 4:26 somewhere, bro. No, that's not the right time. It's 4:20. I don't smoke weed. Jenny Lynn, going after the least corrupt, straightest politician. Never could have seen that coming. Cough, cough, Dennis Kucinich. Yeah, oh yeah, it's crazy. Well, you guys are fantastic. I always love doing this show. Let me go to let me thank everybody. 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 Live control room. Wait, where's everything? I always forget this. Where's everybody? You guys are great. I gotta just get the list of all the super chatters because you guys deserve mad love. Mad love. That's a weird. Don't sing, Graham. I can't sing. I should never sing like that. I apologize. Where are they? I can't find everybody. What's going on? Where is it? I always have a hard time finding it. There's like a list and it's easy, and then I just watch it. All right, well, we'll just do it old school. Sorry. I'm kind of going off in my own world. I don't know what's right anymore. All right, so we're going to thank Marsha Smith. Thank you so much. And, oh, shit. Why is this being so dumb? I don't want to send a super. Oh, God. Open a new window. Yeah, here we go. I always do. Sorry. Thank you, Marsha Smith, Brian Stevens, Plantastic Life, Sarah J, Hugh Edwards again, and Plantastic Life again. You guys are so great for supporting the show. I cannot tell you enough how much this means to me. And you guys, yeah, medical marijuana was passed in Ohio, and I'm looking forward to trying edibles. Okay, Jenny Lynn. Thank you guys so much. If you live in anywhere near San Bernardino, California, please come out a week from today, December 17th, 7 p.m. if you go to grahamelwood.com. So what that means is I will be doing this next Saturday. It'll be a hashtag super chat Saturday, the 16th. I'll probably do it around 4 or 5 p.m. West Coast time next Saturday. And then starting January 14th, when I'm shooting the TV show every Sunday in a row, I'll be doing, so the chats will be on Saturdays when I'm shooting the TV show on Sunday. So come out to San Bernardino. You guys are fantastic. Rama says, well, that's Sunday for you. Yeah, so if you live in other parts of the world, you'll be getting an actual Super Chat Sunday. And everyone in the States, you'll be getting a Super Chat Saturday. You guys are great. I love doing this show. I love everything you have to say. And thank you, everybody, to, once again, Plantastic Life. Hugh Edwards twice, Sarah J, Plantastic Life again, Brian Stevens, Marsha Smith. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate everything you guys do. This show makes me feel better about everything because I see all of you getting involved. So, right on. And Prad, our friend in Morocco, you're good, man. There's nothing wrong with you. Society's just a little crazy. So get around some positive people that are totally accepting of who you are, be they gay, straight, whatever, who don't care that you're gay, because there's nothing wrong with it. All right? Thanks for joining us, everybody. And remember, we're all going to make Gotham great. So I got to research nuclear waste, Bitcoin, and that T-shirt thing to make Political Vigilante logos. I got some homework. Bye!